Hello, it's your favorite non-AI generated YouTuber, and welcome back to Black Ops 6. There's been a lot of stuff going on, in regards to Black Ops 6, and most of it is not very good news. If you've been paying attention to the goings-on in the Call of Duty community, you probably would have heard about the controversy surrounding the voice actors for the Zombies mode, and, them being replaced recently due to disagreements about the use of generative AI. And, them not being able to negotiate protections against things like that with, Activision and Treyarch. And, I'm not an expert on this whole subject. There have been plenty of people who are a lot smarter than I am who have, gone into depth talking about this. People who have way more time than I do to actually properly research and, do all these things. I'm pretty sure Merc Music made a video talking about it. I haven't watched it yet because it just came out, but, I know Mr. Raffle Waffles Milo made a pretty good video about it. I watched the whole thing. It was very informative. If you want a more actual detailed breakdown of what's going on with this whole AI shit going on with Call of Duty, then I would recommend watching that video. But yeah, the long and short of it is that a lot of the voice actors for Zombies in a recent update have been, either starting to be replaced or fully replaced already by, other voice actors because the organization that they belong to is negotiating with, Activision and a whole bunch of other publishers to have protections put in place so that, their voice talent can be protected against, AI and, the consent issues with all that. And as it currently stands, I believe it's SAG-AFTRA and the video game companies have not come to an agreement in regards to those issues. So because they belong to that organization, they're not allowed to, work on the games being affected by this. And, people have, especially in this game, people have suspected that they might be using AI for their, emblems and calling cards and other things like that. And it wasn't really, confirmed. If you look at it, you might be able to tell. But, with this whole voice actor shit going on and some of the loading screens for the recent Christmas event that is going on, make it pretty obvious that they've been using AI, at least in this game, to generate a lot of their art as well. There's a freaking zombie Santa loading screen where it has 6 fingers. And I'm not one to, usually sit here and morally grandstand on a soapbox and preach about the injustices of whatever the fuck. But, I do consider myself, I'm not gonna say an artist because that sounds really pretentious, but I consider myself a creative person. I like to make these videos and I like to draw in my spare time. And I remember in high school, I was really, really passionate about, getting into art and all that. And it's just really disheartening to see that, one of the truly unique human things, being creative in any capacity is the thing that is being thrown to the wayside by, corporations and shareholders and all that in favor of generative AI shit. It's so lame. And the really stupid part is that, they use the generative AI so that, they don't have to hire artists or voice actors or whatever, right, to save money, quote unquote. But the thing is about art specifically, they often will use generative AI to make whatever it is, but then they'll still have to have an artist go in and clean it up so that it doesn't look like super turbo shit. So one, you have to have an actual artist work on the thing anyways, but even then, it's still, people can still tell when something is AI, even if it's been cleaned up by an artist. I don't know how much effort has been put into all the loading screens and emblems and other things in this game, and I'm not sure how much of it is AI, if, there are certain things that are actually made by people and other things that are not. But, the amount of time you have to spend prompting shit and then having an artist going in and cleaning it up is and then the end result was still something that still kind of looks like shit and you can tell is made by AI, seems so counterintuitive to the whole saving money angle that these people, use when they argue in favor of this stupid shit. It's you can take a turd and polish it to a pristine, shining sheen, so people will still be able to tell that's a turd. Does that make sense? But yeah, this whole situation with the voice actors is super shitty, especially when, there are voice actors I believe her name is Julie Nathanson, voice actor for Samantha Maxis, which has been with the franchise since, I believe, Black Ops 1. She's also a part of the SAG-AFTRA group, and, because the negotiations have not progressed at all in terms of their protections against this stuff, she was also have to stop working on the game. And they not only, she was replaced in the recent Citadel del Mar map, not being able to work on the game further at this point, but they also retroactively went back and changed the Sam AI character voice with a different voice actor as well. Peck has been replaced, in between Cold War and Black Ops 6, and I'm pretty sure a few of the other actors have been replaced as well already at this point. Ooh, yeah, it sucks just having to, this game is amazing for a Call of Duty. Probably the best one we've had in forever. And, all the modes seem to be getting the attention that they deserve. It's not just, centered on a war zone entirely anymore. Multiplayer is really fun. Zombies is really fun. The campaign was really good. And it seems like the 1 year where Call of Duty seems to be firing on all cylinders, they have to go and do something like this where, when everything seems to be going well, they have to go and do something that sort of tarnishes the image of this otherwise really, really good game. It's not fun playing a game and enjoying it, and then on the flip side, worrying about, are all the camos I'm unlocking, were they even made by a person, or the emblems and things like that, or hearing one of your favorite voice actors in a role that you really like in a game be changed for really, really shitty reasons. Nolan North, who is also Richtofen, is also a part of that SAG-AFTRA group, and, it hasn't been confirmed yet whether or not his voice actor's been replaced, because I don't think he has had any dialogue or lines since Liberty Falls. But it might get to a point where he gets replaced, and obviously he's just as iconic as Julie Nathanson is as Samantha. So yeah, it'd be a real shame if they had to go and replace him as well. And if people could tell with the other voice actors, I couldn't even tell with the Samantha AI character in Citadel because I wasn't listening this closely. But yeah, if people could tell with the other ones, it would be instantaneous when people find out that they replaced Nolan North as Richtofen, if they do. And it's crazy because you have all these clearly super talented people who work on this game and contribute to it in a variety of ways, whether that be like the artists, designers, programmers, music people they get for like zombies and stuff. And I remember in Black Ops 3 there was calling cards made by an artist called Yoji Shinkawa, which is, if you don't know, was the I believe he still works at Kojima Productions. I think there's art for like Death Stranding stuff that he made, but the very iconic artist that made the art for the Metal Gear Solid games. And yeah, he did art for Black Ops 3 for the calling cards of the Zombies crew, and that was like some of the coolest shit in that game. And it's just weird to think about how what is it, 9 years ago at this point, you had such prolific creatives working on this game, and now we're at the point where we have six-fingered zombies because Activision can't be fucked to consider that, hey, a part of the thing that makes your games good is that the people making it are people. The reason people have such an attachment to your franchise at all is because of the amazing work that people make and produce. Again, whether it be a really cool mission in the campaign or a really cool map or visual in a zombies map or whatever, people remember these things because they're made by people. I'm sure anybody watching this video at some point during their life has, watched a movie, TV show, played a video game, listened to a song that inspired them in some way to, maybe make their own music or maybe make an art piece or a drawing or whatever. Do something creative because you were inspired by something previously made by a person. And, that goes back into the whole, people having a deep attachment to your thing, whatever it is that it is, a video game. People have such a deep attachment to it because they form their own connections to it through things that inspire them. Especially like when you're a kid, I'm sure anybody has, you watched like a Batman TV show or played a video game when you were a kid and you wanted to draw something from it. At least I know I did. And I hesitated making a video about, talking about this whole thing because, and I felt like playing the game and making videos on it and enjoying the game is like, something about it feels wrong, especially when we're talking about like creative and social issues that affect people. And I'm like, wow, guys, look how much fun I'm having playing this video game, which I feel like is slightly unfair to the developers because it's very clear, from what people are talking about online that Treyarch is not, entirely at fault to blame for this whole AI controversy thing. A lot of the talent that, works for the Call of Duty games and Treyarch specifically, I know, they talk about how much they enjoy working on the game, like the musicians and the voice actors. So it seems to be clear that at the very least, it's not 100%, Treyarch's wrongdoing that is causing all this. I doubt that the developers within Treyarch are over here advocating for the use of generative AI that would seemingly at some point in the future completely take their jobs. People aren't gonna form these connections to your IP and franchise if they look at your game and they see everything looks like shit because it's generated by AI. No matter how much you have somebody try and clean it up, people will always be able to tell. But I guess that's enough me standing on my soapbox. It's just stuff like this really bothers me. Again, being a self-ascribed creative person. Oh, I got the gold camo. I didn't even notice. Sick. But yeah, there's like, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure this is the first game that I've played in a while where I was like, oh, some of the base camos actually look really nice. Or I guess some of these special ones, I mean. And it's like, oh, well, I hope that none of them were generated by AI because that would be super shitty. Especially some of the more detailed ones. Like, I think there's one on the AK that I really like a lot, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I guess with all that said, I just final point here, just remember that the things that you really like, whether it be video games or etc., the things that you feel passionate about in terms of media, they're made by people, and the people that make these things really like making them. Being creative is like one of the fundamentally human things that cannot be replicated by other things or machines or whatever. But yeah, it sucks that artists and voice actors have to deal with this dumb bullshit. And yeah, if you see stupid shit like this happening, not in just Call of Duty but in just other media and games in general, the least you could do is like make your voice heard and voice your dissatisfaction with garbage like that. But because I don't think the way to vocalize this is to stop playing the game, unless their developer is super shitty or whatever. But it's very clear in this case that Treyarch is not super shitty, and I don't think stopping to play the game is the answer. Not that that would help, because I doubt that many people would actually go through with that. But yeah, just constantly being loud about it, again, voicing your opinion on the matter is probably the most important thing you can do. Don't go hound voice actors or developers or whatever, because that's not going to help at all. And in fact, that would probably ruin the chances of voice actors be able to come back in the future if, negotiations go through or whatever. But yeah, with that, I think I'm going to end the video there. Thank God my face cam didn't cut out in this video, unlike the last one. I think it's a USB port on the back of my computer that is doing that, because I used to have a hard drive plugged into there and it would also disconnect, every so often, which was super annoying. But I think it's just the USB port, so I guess I just won't use that. But yeah, this is more of a rant style video. I don't usually talk this passionately about anything really, but again, as a creative person, I had to say something, even though I'm not like super good at literally anything. But yeah, I just wanted to voice my opinion, I guess, on the whole matter. But yeah, I think the Game Awards is happening on the 12th. So fucking who gives a shit about that? But more so for the trailers and stuff coming out. It'll be cool to see. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me for today. If you did enjoy this video for whatever reason and you want to help support the channel, then leaving a like and subscribing would be very much appreciated. Oh yeah, I also heard that Indiana Jones game that came out recently is like peak as fuck, like unironically. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get to that at any point in the near future, but yeah, I'll need to remember that, because that game, everybody's just talking good about that game. So yeah, anyways, I'm rambling now. Later.
Sunrise is missing again, and why don't I feel alive? Knowing no end, I'm falling apart, I'm falling into a dream. Sleep or awake, indifferent now, I'm willing and mad to wait. Calling aloud, is anyone that goes on and on and on? Now I feel my ending, and I can hear the calm. Am I here or gone? When did I fall? I'm a slave to the music of my grave, and I'm falling ever faster. And I know I can't be saved. Now in death I am a slave. My time is done, my time for running.